The purpose of this exercise is to explain to you the environment division of a COBOL program and its use in defining files. Firstly, every COBOL program that you will work on will have files. If you look at the example here in front of us, we're in the Unilit Training Student COBOL dataset, and we're looking at the COBOL program C11 10181. This program has an environment division, and in that environment division, as highlighted below, we have two files being described here. The first is the iTransaction file. The I denotes input, so that's an input file, and the second file is an OReport file. The O denotes an output file. So here we would describe this COBOL program as using two files, an input file called the iTransaction file and an output file called the OReport file. When it comes to internal and external names or logical and physical names, this part of the name here, which is the name iTransaction file, we refer to that as being the internal name within the program. The reason it's called internal is that this file is further described in the data division. So that iTransaction file name appears here and must be named exactly the same as it is in the environment division section. The same goes for OReport file. There it is there. And if we page down, we will see the OReport file. So that's why we say that on the select statement, the first name is the internal or the logical file, and that's the file that you refer to throughout your COBOL program. To prove that further, if I look for the iTransaction file and go to my procedure division, I will see an open statement for my iTransaction file. There it is there, open for input iTransaction file. So if the first part of the name is the internal file, what then is the second name? Well, the second name, which is this, in case of the iTransaction file, the external file name is the iTrans file. That is the name that is used in your JCL whenever you run this program. So when we run program C11-10-181, we will see within the run JCL reference to both of these files, the iTrans file and the OReport file. If I quickly look at this, I'll take my F9 key. Here's my run JCL right down here. I'll do a V for view, and sure enough, I see two statements in it. The last two statements in this JCL both are to do with files. The first is the iTrans file, and the file is described. So that's the actual file name that's on the mainframe. So the physical file name of this file is called litmaster.training.data.itrans.co9-10181, but within the COBOL program, that's the name that appears, the iTrans. And again, there's the iTrans, and that links to the logical file name, the iTransaction file, but this is the file name that we use throughout our COBOL program. We do not use this file again. This is only used for the JCL. This is quite a complicated concept to grasp. Just to summarize, the environment division determines all the files that are used in a COBOL program. In the example shown here, we have two files. One happens to be an input because it's got an I, the second an O because it's got an output. These are the names that are used throughout my COBOL program. So I open the iTransaction file, I will open the OReport file. These names here are what links to my JCL. I hope this helps. That's the end of this exercise.